Hi, and welcome to this walkthrough video of the new Open Technology Fund Internet Freedom Fund concept note form. In this video, we will give a brief explanation of the changes we've made to the application form and give some guidance on what information we are looking for in each question. The Internet Freedom Fund is our main way to support projects advancing internet freedom for users in repressive environments. Our application is a two-stage process. The first is to submit a concept note. This is a brief outline of your project idea, covering the most important information we need to see. We will then review your concept note, and if accepted, we will invite you to submit a full proposal. This full proposal will ask for information going into more detail about what you've told us in the concept note stage, and other information. If accepted, we will then provide funding for your project. The concept note application has 4 main sections, focusing on different aspects of information you will need to provide. Some applicants prefer to write the application collaboratively with others. To do this, you can click Copy Questions to Clipboard and then paste them into your preferred writing application. Then, when you're ready, you can copy and paste each answer into the form when you're ready to submit it. Now, let's cover each application section one by one. Tell us about your project idea. The first section focuses on the project you are applying with. Project title. This title is not so important in the overall application. It can be changed at the next stage if you wish. Describe your project in 1 to 3 sentences. This will help us when we're reviewing your application. Briefly mention what your idea is, the problem being addressed, who will benefit from it, or if it's a technology development idea, who the intended users will be, and what the expected outcome will be. What problem will your project address? Describe the problem that exists. What change is needed? How will your project contribute to solving this problem? For this question, we are trying to understand what problem or situation your project is addressing. We are looking for answers that are concise, well-informed, and are within OTF's mission and area of focus. People and communities who face repressive surveillance, censorship, or other forms of digital repression. Our guidebook has more help on how you might structure your answer. You can get there by clicking the link. See Help Guide for more information. If this project is funded, what form will it take? If funded, what will you deliver at the end of it? A research report? A mobile app? Delivering digital security support? Holding a community convening event? We know projects might contain elements from multiple categories. If so, choose the one you think represents the main purpose of the project. When we review your concept note, we may move your project to a different category, if we think it's a better fit. Don't worry, this won't have any impact on your concept note during our review. Give a brief overview of the activities in this project. Briefly list key milestones and activities you will carry out. In this question, we're expecting to see a list of project activities that you will carry out if you're successfully funded. Project objectives describe what you plan to achieve by the end of the project. If you are invited to the full proposal stage, you might be asked to provide more detail on measuring and evaluating these objectives. So while you don't need to include that information here, it's important that you've thought about it. Are there similar projects that exist already? How is your project different or complementary to those projects? Here we want to understand how your project is situated in the larger context of this problem. Are there projects already addressing this problem? What gaps in those projects does yours address? Does your project build on these projects? If so, how? Is there opportunity for collaboration? Have you contacted them? You can also provide web links to other projects or software repositories to support your answer. How long do you estimate this project will take? For this question, we're looking for a rough estimate of the funding period. If invited to a full proposal, this estimate may be revised. How much funding do you estimate you will need in US dollars? Again, we're looking for a rough estimate. Is it $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000? This estimate can be revised if a full proposal is requested. Who are the users? The next section focuses on the intended target audience or beneficiaries of your project once it's been finished. Let's go through each question. Who would benefit from this project? In this question, we want you to describe your target audience or beneficiaries. We're looking for detail, so be specific. We are looking for you to demonstrate clearly how you know about the needs of your intended audience or users. If your application is for a community convening or gathering, tell us about people you are seeking support for, how they would contribute to the conversation and the event goal, and explain how it will include people who are underrepresented in the Internet Freedom community. Like other questions, our guidebook goes into much more detail on the information we need to see. You can get there by clicking the link. Where are your intended users or audiences located? This question allows us to understand where our efforts are focused and identify significant gaps. This will be used in our public reports in a completely anonymized and aggregated way. About you and your team. The final section is about the people submitting the concept note application, how we should contact you to keep you up to date with your application. What is your name? We will use this name when we communicate with you about your application. You can use your real name, a pseudonym, or a nickname. What email address should we use to contact you? We will use this email address to communicate with you about your application, so it's important it's a valid email address. Why are you and your team members the right people to work on this project? This question gives you the opportunity to explain to us why you know how to do this work. If you expect to have team members, please include them. We want you to tell us about your previous work. Provide links to relevant past projects if possible, your experience with the users. Are you part of the community? Have you worked with them before? If you intend on working with partners, you can describe them here too. Community convenings. The last section is for applications for community convenings or gatherings. Because community convening events may have predefined start and end dates, we need you to tell us if your application is for a community convening. If yes, choose yes. If it is not, choose no. If your application is not for an event, you can skip this section. Only answer these questions if your application is for a conference or event. For how many days will this community convening take place? Only answer this question if your application is for a community gathering. What is your proposed start date for this community gathering? The start date for this event must be at least 90 days after the application has been submitted. Guidance on answering questions. Our OTF application guidebook goes into much more detail about what information we're looking to see and how you might structure your answers. Most questions will have a link to the guidebook marked See Help Guide for more information. This will bring you directly to the guidance for the question. You will find all this guidance in section Appendix 1, Concept Note Guide.